This is like my third time filming this video, so I'm really hoping and banking on the fact that the third time's the charm, because I'm seriously tired of refilming this video. Hey, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Deborah, or Deb, or Debbie, or Deborah. You can pretty much call me whatever floats your boat, as long as it kind of sounds like my actual name. And I make YouTube videos about pretty much whatever the heck I want to make them about. And today I sort of decided, well, not today, because like I said, I have refilmed this video on two separate occasions, 2 different days. Today's the 3rd day, so I'm hoping this is the last time. But for a while now, I've been thinking about sitting down and making an anti-haul video, just sort of sharing things that I don't see myself ever purchasing, or like trends or whatever that I'm not going to participate in. So you may not be aware, but I am a self-proclaimed minimalist. And so I just decided to sort of sit down and share with you guys a few items and trends and whatever that I just won't be participating in this year, and probably for the foreseeable future for most of them. Not just because, you know, I'm trying to help my wallet out, but also because a lot of these items I just think are personally wasteful and just not sustainable in the long run for the health of the planet. And that's also sort of why I'm anti-haul in some of these items. But this has been a long enough intro. Let us get right into the video. All right, so item number 1 is cheap clothing and shoes, aka fast fashion. So when I thought of this, like right away, the brands that came to mind were, you know, brands like Zaful or Shein, H&M, you know, like your regular fast fashion culprits, right? And the thing is that not only do these brands have like serious ethical issues in terms of like labor practices, there's just also no solid evidence that they consider the use of eco-materials in the production and creation of their garments and textiles for their clothing. And not only that, you know, there is also evidence that they tend to use harsh chemicals in the treatment of their garments, and there are just no proper waste management procedures to make sure that those harsh chemicals do not eventually run off into, you know, waterways and water supplies for, you know, people that would eventually affect not just the animal life in those waterways, but also like the communities that depend on those water sources, you know, for their livelihood, for drinking water, for cooking, you know, bathing, or whatever the case may be. So it just essentially makes like an entire resource unusable for a group of people, and also for like animals that rely on that. And not only do they have like these really serious ethical issues and environmental issues, the concept of them is that they're just so poorly made that you essentially are stuck in this cycle of buying from them, wearing the items that you buy a few times, and then, you know, after washing or after a couple of uses, they become unusable, and so you're forced to donate them, or really actually just throw them away and, you know, repeat the cycle and just go purchase from them again, right? And not only does this end up in the long run being expensive on your wallet, it also contributes a significant amount to the, you know, clothing waste issue that we're currently dealing with, right? So I don't want to get into like the technicalities of all of that stuff, but those are just like some of the reasons for why I tend to avoid fast fashion and cheap clothing items. And I'm not saying that if you shop at, you know, these brands that you're a bad person. No, absolutely not. I understand that we're all at different points and stages in our lives in terms of what is accessible to us and what we can afford. And I'm not trying to shame anybody for, you know, shopping these brands. I just want to, I'm hoping to get people to understand and realize that these brands are not looking out for your best interest and the best interest of their workers and of the environment. And as long as you're not ignorant of these shortcomings and you're aware and maybe taking some steps in your life to reduce and reduce your use of and your consumption of fast fashion, and that's okay. Like I said, we're all at different stages, and I'm not trying to be here on my high horse judging or whatever. But anyway, as an alternative to like fast fashion, what I tend to do now is if I really feel like there's a clothing item that I need, or if I feel like some items in my wardrobe are getting old and worn out, they don't fit well anymore, I'd rather just go thrift shopping and try to find pieces that I can introduce into my wardrobe and just purchase secondhand rather than creating new demand for items and then, in a way contributing to the massive waste issue that we already have. And if there is like a certain item that I'm not able to find at a thrift store, maybe due to size, due to like I'm looking for a specific style, whatever the case may be, then I would try to find like a sustainable eco brand. I know a brand that I really like is actually Cotton. I think they're Canadian owned and they really produce like pretty good quality stuff. And I try to shop, if I have to shop a new item, I try to shop more sustainably. So number 2 for me is new and impractical makeup items. And this is saying a lot because in my past life, I say my past life like it wasn't just like a couple years ago that I decided to take a more sustainable approach and minimalist approach to things that I do. But in my past life, I used to consume a lot of makeup. Like I had a lot of makeup products, and the thing is I would buy so many like unpractical products and like in terms of eyeshadow palettes that were not really wearable for me, and then I'd have like a variety of foundations when really I can only use one at a time, and just sort of fallen into that trap of trying to build a collection. So one thing that I'm definitely going to be anti-hauling or not purchasing or not doing this year and for the foreseeable future is essentially just buying new and unpractical makeup items. So like I mentioned, I won't be purchasing eyeshadow palettes as they drop. And moreover, I won't be using eyeshadow palettes that are unwearable for me, like that have neon colors or just have like a ton of neutral colors, because I already have palettes that do that for me, so I don't need another one that does the exact same thing, right? And also in line with that, I'm not going to be purchasing new items of like my staples. So for instance, like if I run out of my current foundation, instead of like purchasing a different brand of foundation just to sort of try it out, I will just stick to my tried and true products that I know work for my skin tone and my skin, my body chemistry or whatever, and won't break me out, and that I will actually like the formula of. But that's just my personal thing, and that's what I would rather do instead, is just use up my products and just stick to what I know works best for me. So yeah. So the next thing that I am going to be anti-hauling this year and till eternity, I hope nobody like gifts me these things, but there's this trend I've been seeing of these like square puffy looking heels. I don't get it. There's like hair on my hand. Those shoes are so bloody ugly, like I don't understand. It's like, why would we make puffer shoes? Like who comes up with these trends? And no shade if you like think that they're stylish, good looking or whatever, that's your personal taste. But as for me and my personal taste, that's not gonna work. I think they're absolutely just not good looking, and I think that's just the thing with trends, right? It just seems to me like the sort of shoe that you can only wear when they're trendy, and it's not versatile enough for you to wear when they're out of style. And that's something that I'm really trying to avoid in my life. I'm trying to curate more versatile, always trendy pieces that, even if they went out of trend, I can still comfortably wear them and I won't look like I'm not in vogue. Not that I even care about that, but you know what I mean? Like just purchasing things that will last, and not like in terms of quality, but in terms of style, that they're just always going to be a thing, right? So that's partly why I'm avoiding I will never purchase these shoes, is they're just ugly, not my style, and they just won't be trendy for a long enough period of time to justify their purchase, right? So the next item, I think we're on number 6, is got my thing here, is this one grinds my gears a lot. I'm going to be anti-hauling disposable single-use coffee pods, so like Keurigs and Nespresso pods. The whole concept is just ridiculous to me, and as someone that enjoys coffee, yeah. Let me just take a deep breath. First of all, Keurigs are just not great. In terms of like the coffee that they make, I feel like every experience that I've had with Keurigs is just making watered down, disgusting bean juice. It just doesn't work. I've never tried Nespresso, so I can't say that, you know, they are not good or whatever in terms of the kind of coffee that they brew. But like, just the whole idea behind making a single cup of coffee with a pod that's wrapped in plastic, and obviously takes a lot of resources to produce, and then just tossing that just after you make your coffee, and you might make multiple cups of coffee in a day, just blows my mind. It makes no sense to me, you know. And not only are these coffee pods like disposable, even though it take a lot of resources to make, but they're also expensive. So that means I'd be spending like $10 to $12 every week and a half to 2 weeks just because I want to drink coffee, and then also contributing a ton of waste in that regard. Yeah, I just don't see the logic behind that. So what I do instead is I have a mocha pot, and it's a great nifty little thing, and I feel like a barista when I make my coffee in the morning with it. And so all that requires really, besides, you know, the upfront cost of purchasing the mocha pot, is I just have to buy a bag of espresso, and it comes packaged in plastic, but I think that that's way better than the frequent disposable single-use disposable K-cups, right? And it lasts me a good amount of time, and yeah, it's way cheaper than having to buy a box of K-cups. And I also enjoy really the mindful process of having to kind of disassemble the mocha pot, put in my espresso and reassemble, and, you know, brew my pot of coffee, and having to wait a little bit longer than if I was using like a coffee machine, but that's okay. I like and enjoy that process. But yeah, I had to just go on a little rant about that one, because that one just doesn't make sense to me. And then finally, another thing that I will be anti-hauling this year is new tech, or just, I suppose, really just any tech. So I'm not going to be upgrading my phone to like a brand new iPhone or whatever. I'm not going to be upgrading my watch. I'm not going to be getting a new computer, iPad, or anything. I don't think a lot of us realize and really think about the amount of resources and minerals that are necessary to produce, like to make and develop, like, you know, a single piece of technology. Phones, and the only exception I should mention is camera gear. But yeah, anyway, but like phones and technology and stuff, they require a lot of, you know, mining of minerals and resources. And not only are, you know, mining practices in some ways damaging to the environment, sort of like the demand and the economics of mining of minerals also contributes to conflict in countries in sub-Saharan Africa that are rich with these mineral deposits, right? This is not the video to get into like the politics of it, because it's really complex and I don't know enough about it to speak to it with any kind of confidence. But yeah, I'm just going to avoid tech because of those reasons. And that doesn't even touch on, you know, the massive e-waste problem that is also plaguing the world. So a lot of like technology that, you know, phones that we get rid of when we upgrade to like a new phone or whatever, gets shipped to like developing countries that don't really have proper facilities to take care and dispose of the e-waste properly, and so they end up burning them, and that just releases a lot of toxins and pollutants into the air, and it's not good for people that live in communities where these e-waste are incinerated, essentially. Anyway, I said I wasn't gonna get into it, but yeah. So pretty much what I'm gonna be doing is, if I need to upgrade or get a new piece of technology, is to shop secondhand and try to purchase it, you know, already used, and just being okay with that, because I think in my mind I sort of have like a stigma, but like, I don't know, I like shiny new things, so it's just training myself to understand that it's okay to purchase secondhand. But yeah, anyway, those are all the items that I will be anti-hauling this year, and perhaps for the foreseeable future for a good number of these items. I should also restate that I'm not trying to shame anybody for the way that they choose to live their lives. If you decide that some of these things that I mentioned you still purchase, or you would continue to purchase, and if you disagree with me, that's completely okay. I think we all have our philosophies, our values, and our beliefs, and I'm hoping that by sharing these, you get a peek into sort of what my values and beliefs are, and the way I approach a lot of consumption decisions, right? And so this is not to shame and denigrate anybody for what they decide to do with their life. That's completely up to you. You do you, and you live your life the way you want to live it, and I'll live my life the way I want to live it, and stay sharing it here on the YouTube. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. I hope you've learned a few things from this. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really does help your girl out. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so help your girl out. But that's really all that I have to share today. Thank you so much for staying tuned till the end and sticking with me through all my ramblingness. I'm really grateful that you're here with me today, and I hope to see you guys next time in another video. Bye.